I've never seen any dessert like this. I saw a video of it before I came here, and I looked at it and I said, I have to know what that tastes like. There's all these interesting ingredients together in one beautiful form.
In this video,
what is that?
We're exploring street food in one of the Middle East's most iconic countries.
For 1 cent, you don't get too much more bang for your buck than this.
Welcome to Lebanon. Lebanon has a population of only about 5.5 million, yet their food is beloved worldwide.
Oh, yeah.
And soon, you're gonna find out why.
Cheese pull shot. That looks delicious.
Today, we're hitting this country's two biggest cities, Tripoli and Beirut.
In Beirut, you can find different street food, but in Tripoli, you can see it more authentic.
I'm on a quest to discover what sets food here apart from anywhere else in the world.
Is Lebanon really a dessert culture?
From sandwiches with some unexpected ingredients.
This is MOGHRABIEH.
How do you say it? I gotta work on my khud.
To juicy meat towers weighing hundreds of pounds.
I only realized last year that you could eat this when you're sober.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It all starts here in Tripoli.
Here's how I know this is a good place. First of all, you go outside, there's a huge group, a throng of people waiting for fresh bread to come out. Secondly, the guy baking the bread is smoking a cigarette. That's how I know this is the real authentic place. Sir?
Meet master bread maker and owner of this bakery, Mr. Abdul Nasur Al-Masri.
I know you're very busy. How much of your time can we take?
5 minutes.
We got 5 minutes. Oh my God. Okay, where do I start? We are in this market. This market is wild. It's incredibly busy. There's so many vegetables, produce, fruits. All the local food is here.
Souk. It's a word that rolls out the tongues of locals to describe a marketplace like this. It thrives in open air, nestled within a complex of streets, a repository of life's necessities waiting to be discovered.
How long have you been in this market?
The place here is about 200 years old, but he has been in the market here for 60 years. In this place, they are very famous for manouche. It's one of the most popular breakfasts in Lebanon.
Manouche. It's like a Lebanese version of a pizza, consisting of flatbread and toppings. But instead of cheese and meat, the manouche is crowned with its own unique Zatar, a local spice blend crafted from thyme, black and white sesame seeds, and olive oil.
The visuals in here are incredible. It's like a well-oiled factory. They put the dough in here, it spits out these dough balls, they flatten it, you put some sauce onto the dough, and then they throw it into the oven. Here we go. Oh, he gives me a whole board of bread right here. Oh, wow. It's such a thick sauce, and you can see all the seeds inside. There's sesame seeds.
We can fold it like this.
Does he still want bread? He's been in this factory for 60 years. Oh, yes, just like the very first time.
It's very warm.
That is the only way to eat it. Fresh out of the oven, it's still soft, and what an amazing taste.
In Lebanon, we say, ما بيضحك لرغيف السخن. Means grumpy people do not smile for fresh bread, because really fresh bread can make you smile.
Joining me today, Layal. She's a Lebanese architect, local guide, and food blogger, displaying her passion for cuisine on Instagram and TikTok for a global audience.
That first bite was like a crust bite, but this is a pure seasoning right here. It's very delicious. How much bread are you making in a day?
Around 5,000.
5,000?
Yes.
But I'm told the bread is extremely affordable.
It's very cheap. Before the economic crisis in Lebanon, it used to be around 70 cents. Now it's sold for less than 1 cent. That's why you can see all the crowd waiting in line to get this manouche.
The Lebanese economic crisis began to escalate around early 2020.
Has left half the population living below the poverty line.
A crisis that emerged from years of governmental mismanagement and made worse by the COVID pandemic, the Ukrainian conflict, and the tragic explosion in Beirut. Hyperinflation meant that at its peak, the Lebanese pound was decimated at a staggering 97%. For some time, cash became close to worthless.
Are you able to get by selling bread for 1 cent a piece?
He's thanking God for this.
Do you ever think about raising your prices, blaming it on inflation and all that? I mean, that's what they do in the US.
He can't. People wouldn't accept this.
Really?
Because people in Tripoli are very poor.
For better or worse, life goes on. While some businesses have been unable to weather the financial storm, people here remain resilient, continuing to do what they do best.
Sir, put her there. Where am I?
Tripoli, Tarablus, ملكة الحلويات الزهرية. الحلويات الزهرية.
My Arabic is gonna need some work.
It turns out the Arabic name for this place, translated into English, means King of Sweets, a fitting name for this half-century-old confectionery.
Is Lebanon really a dessert culture? There's certain countries you go to, I would say India, where you go there and you see dessert shops and just piles and piles of different colorful, sugary, sweet desserts. Is Lebanon like that?
Yes, definitely. There's around 50 sweets types in this shop.
50?
They are very famous, especially about this حلاوة الجبن.
I've never seen any dessert like this. I saw a video of it before I came here and I looked at it and I said, I have to know what that tastes like. There's cheese, there's semolina, there's clotted cream, there's all these interesting ingredients together. So we have two different sides. What is this?
حلاوة الجبن منتوفة وحلاوة الجبن ملفوفة.
It's the same حلاوة الجبن. This is the skin.
Here's how it's made. Start with baladi, a type of local white cheese, then melt it down in hot water until it reaches a velvety texture. Now, mix it with sugar syrup and semolina, a coarse flour made from durum wheat with a distinct yellow color and slightly gritty texture. The dough comes to life as it's skillfully shaped and kneaded with precision. After some more handiwork, let it rest a bit before the cutting begins.
What is the secret to not screwing this up?
طبعا بحب.
The secret of making حلاوة الجبن is that you have to be passionate about it. You have to love it in order to make people enjoy
I
it.
thought I was enjoying the cheese, but now that he mentions that, I taste the passion too. It's thin, it's sweet, but not too sweet.
It's made of cheese, giving it the sourness.
Yes, it has a great, almost like a slightly chewy texture to it. I like that.
What truly levels up this experience is its filling, made from a blend of fresh cream, semolina, and just a hint of floral essence. Add even more of this creamy goodness on the outside, and as a final touch, a sprinkle of crushed pistachio.
Oh, he's dousing it. This is a thick, sweet syrup he's got on there. Can you sauce me up? Cheers. You know, clotted cream has such a unique texture to it. It's heavy, it's fatty, it's kind of like whipped cream, but even more thick and a little bit coarse. And then of course the syrup gives it some sweetness. We have that awesome texture from the skin, and then some nuts in there for a little bit of crunch. That's delicious.
Soon, we'll be diving deep into the heart of this country's heavenly meat factory.
What is that?
Where the patriarch of protein shapes and roasts this country's most coveted dishes.
It looks like a giant red Filipino sausage. Sir?
But before that,
How you doing?
I can't leave Tripoli without trying this peculiar food combination made by the hands of Ahmad.
What is this dish called that you're about to make?
اسمه معجوقة.
Majua.
Majua, it's like a mixture of crowd because they are putting cheese with semolina and rose water.
I love anything that includes cheese. Step one, he slices up the cheese, he puts it on the flat top. He hits that with some rose water underneath, and he turns up the fire. I like how he really gets his hand in there. This is the semolina. Oh wow, so he's really mashing it up. This is just like a giant gooey piece of deliciousness right now. Oh yeah, cheese pull shot. That looks delicious. Now, the next step, douse it in powdered sugar, put it inside the bread, throw down some paper, and that is ready to eat. Oh man, that is such a confusing experience. It's cheese, it's heavy, but it's sweet. Obviously the outside is very bready. It's like stuffed crust pizza, but the whole thing is the stuffed crust. Where does this come from?
So his grandfather started it in 1930, around 100 years ago.
Ahmad is the third generation in this family business. His grandfather was the first to bring these originally Moroccan recipes to Lebanon. Now, he is a sole practitioner in Tripoli, crafting these two highly sought-after dishes.
This is the famous MOGHRABIEH sandwich in Tripoli.
How do you say it?
MOGHRABIEH.
I gotta work on my MOGHRABIEH. All right. This is interesting because it's a carbohydrate bomb. It has like the little balls.
Yes, this is a kind of semolina made like balls, mixed with chickpeas, onion, spices, and cinnamon.
I'm used to having cinnamon in things like Christmas cookies, maybe pho. This is my first time having it in this type of a creation. Let's try it out. It's a combination of flavors I've never had before.
The bread just absorbs the whole spices.
I agree with that. The bread is very warm, it's soft, it's stretchy. Inside, these weird contrasting flavors. I've got a very strong punch of cinnamon, and then there's some really sour pickle in there too.
It makes people completely full because it's all about carbs.
The more I eat it, the more I'm coming around. It's a very confounding dish, and every bite is a new surprise. So this is my first city in Lebanon. How different is Tripoli from Beirut?
Oh, it's very different. Tripoli is more authentic, it's more historical. Here you can walk, you can feel how old is this city, how was their lives like before modernity. See the sculpture, the spirit, and the market, how it goes, how it works. It's just amazing. But unfortunately, it's not very innovative. Actually, Beirut is more modern now. It has more high towers, it has more works and more active nightlife.
Vibrant, charming, Like the Miami of the Middle East, Beirut pulses with life and knows how to turn up the heat and keep the good times rolling.
Beirut is the city of contrast, let's say. It's very different in very different ways. You got highs, you got lows, you got very old buildings, very new buildings, you got very conservative people, you got super open-minded people.
Amidst the bustling streets and bustling souls, Beirut offers a culinary journey that's equally unique. Meeting me at Barbar restaurant, Rob Halou, a Lebanese filmmaker, who's currently documenting his bike trip across the entire continent of Africa.
When you come here, what foods do you crave?
I love falafel. When you eat it fresh, it's crunchy, and you have all this diversity of sauces. I mean, look at this, right?
Falafel is an Arab deep-fried ball made from a mixture of ground chickpeas, onion, garlic, parsley, ground cumin, ground coriander, salt, and pepper.
So what I usually like to do is I cut some bread like that, dunk it into the tahina.
That's a good dunk. You got a little sauce right there.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
And Beirut is a magnet for sauce. The falafel alone is like me without the bandana. It can be kind of dry, it's like so oily, but then you mix it with some tomato. You put some tahini in it. The more you add to it, the better it is.
But this isn't why I came here. Upon the fiery stage, a dance of meat, flames, and spices intertwined, resulting in the most iconic, sizzling star of Beirut, the kebab.
Ali, put her there.
Meet the restaurant owner, Ali. His family not only owns this kebab joint, but also this, and this, and this. Literally, the entire block itself.
Tell me about the kebabs here, because what I noticed is that they have a very unique shape, a shape unlike any other place I've seen.
The kebab is a Levant food. Lebanon, because it's strategically in the middle of these countries, it has taken from all these countries and made it a bit different.
You take the best of all that's what's around.
Yes.
Are your kebabs better than everyone else's?
Let's see, you're the judge of that.
When it comes to kebab, the choice of meats are many: chicken, beef, lamb, or even this. But here, it's a mixture of beef and lamb. Now, the seasoning. You can keep it light with salt, black pepper, and bell peppers, or you can go all in with local herbs, chopped onion, salt, cumin, and bulgur, a type of cereal made from whole wheat.
Wow. It's like little discs of meat. This seems like it would be easy, but there's no threads on the skewer. And somehow he has to make the meat stick on there. I challenge any of you to try this. The meat will fall off immediately. How long did it take you to get this good?
He learned it in 10 days.
That means for 9 days, you have a skewer with just blobs of meat falling off, and you're like, how do I make it stick? And then on day 10, it's like, oh, like that. Magic. Is it kind of like that?
Yeah.
When the kebab meets the roaring flames, the transformation unfolds, creating a tantalizing outer crust that teases out the meat's natural succulence, while at the same time sealing the juices within.
Right here, we've got some meat. So these are both a mixture of beef and lamb, but they both have different seasonings. I'm gonna try this smaller one with the veggies. Super flavorful, fatty, it's savory. The meat really bounces as you eat it. I'm gonna get one of these chilies.
It's addictive. When you start, you can't finish.
Chili is super spicy. Meanwhile, we have nothing to drink. Here we have these big discs of meat. Oh, you're gonna do 2-in-1. I like it, 2-in-1. We have kind of an herb salad here.
We can also dunk. There's no rule.
Oh yes, I love dunking. Cheers.
Cheers. Wow.
That's delicious. One thing that's remarkable about Lebanon is it's a small country with a pretty small population.
Approximately 6 million, and 1/4 of it is refugees, actually.
And so among that small number of people, Lebanese cuisine has made a huge impact around the world.
I'll tell you why. Because the diaspora is estimated to be between 14 to 18 million people. And when the Lebanese started immigrating abroad, they brought that culture and that richness elsewhere.
So are you telling me there's more Lebanese people outside of Lebanon than inside of Lebanon?
There's almost as many Lebanese people in Brazil than in Lebanon itself. I think Brazil is like 4.5 million. Lebanon is 6 million, including refugees. So it's a pretty crazy fact, right?
Wow, diaspora getting busy out there.
As you know, it's a region of the world that has a lot of conflicts.
Perhaps that's forced people out over the years.
Exactly.
People felt like they didn't have any other options.
Exactly. So yeah, it's part of us. You know, Lebanon, it's a love and hate relationship. You can ask any Lebanese person, they're going to be like, I love it and I want to go back, but sometimes the instability is too much for me, you know?
Yeah.
It's a love and hate, yeah.
Well, listen, this is just our start. We're building up to one of the most iconic foods in all of Beirut. That is next. Save some room, but you do have to eat all of this or people on the internet will get mad at you.
Oh, sad.
As the evening sun dips below the horizon, a sense of anticipation fills the air in Beirut. Streams of people begin to gather on the streets, drawn by an irresistible temptation. This is shawarma. It's meat slowly roasted on its spindle. But at this joint,
This place is full of energy.
they're serving a special meat tower, the same shade as Clifford the Big Red Dog.
It looks awesome. It's like uniform in shape. It's a perfect cylinder of meat. What is that?
This is an Armenian sujuk.
A type of reddish sausage consisting of beef and an array of spices.
It's a secret recipe how we made it.
If it's a secret, is this being made in your bedroom?
No. We have actually a factory.
Its roots can be traced back to Armenia, but this sausage took on a new identity when it found its way to Beirut, transforming into a beloved shawarma.
It looks abundant, it's juicy, it's freshly shaven, pinkish red meat.
Every time I look at this, man, I want to eat.
Oh, you look like you're about to cry. I like it. Cheers.
Cheers, guys. Human?
We don't know yet. Like this is a secret recipe.
Okay, first of
I
all,
respect.
at first it reminded me of the seasonings that you would find in the lamb, but the flavors are much more powerful. There's definitely a boatload of cumin in there. It's spicy, it's greasy, it's like heavy in a very satisfying way. It has a great uniform texture. This is fantastic. We are not only here for this, we also want to try the lamb shawarma.
Shawarma is not just a food, but a piece of art constructed layer by layer. This one is made with marinated lamb meat.
How do you balance the fat with the protein?
We have like almost 80% protein, pure meat, almost 20% fat in it.
I'm all at the same ratio.
A shawarma stack can reach about 3 feet in height and weigh anywhere from 50 to 200 pounds or more. When this pillar of protein is ready, they slice it off, then stuff it in a flat bread along with tomato, onion, pickled vegetables, and tahini.
These look so delicious and so plump and juicy. What do you think?
I just want to stop speaking and indulge.
We will very shortly. I like that the meat is literally falling out of the mouth of this shawarma.
You can see the difference between the fat and the protein right here.
Oh, we should take a bite. Let's go for it.
Creamy.
Very creamy. And I taste cinnamon.
I don't remember like tasting the cinnamon coming here usually. You're right, they might have changed their items.
Or maybe you have a more refined palate now.
That's true. Hanging out with you.
Here's what's really different about it to me. The lamb is delicious, it's awesome. The tahini is something that takes getting used to for me because it is so thick, it's really salty. What do you think people in Lebanon like about the tahini? Because it's in many dishes.
I don't even know how to define the taste in terms of vocab. Like it's a very unique taste. I like it because it adds a lot more flavor and also creaminess and moisture.
I respect the creaminess. It's like if you could take a toasted flavor and put it into a cream. So some countries put in the garlic sauce, the white garlic sauce. Some countries, I believe Turkey, did nothing. You had to just dry mouth it. So what do you think? Who does the better shawarma between Lebanon and Turkey?
Do you want the biased answer or the normal answer?
Uh-oh. Are they not the same answer?
I'm going to be biased when I say Lebanon.
I want to talk a little bit about the economic crisis that took place here in Lebanon, and maybe it's still going on to this day. Earlier in this video, when I was in Tripoli, I was with a woman who was explaining that the bread they're making, they used to charge around 70 cents for it, and now they charge less than 1 cent. He's making 5,000 pieces of bread a day. He's not crushing it. Like, this has really destroyed his business in a way, and who knows if it will go on to the next generation.
There's been horrible inflation, basically. I mean, $1 was 1,500 Lebanese pounds. Now it's more than 100,000 Lebanese pounds.
Whoa.
Yeah, so imagine the people still earning their salary in Lebanese pounds. Horrible, right? And all the jobs are affecting. My own father, like he can't access a lot of his money that he earned through decades.
It's my worst nightmare. Like, you work your whole life, you save, and then through no fault of your own, it's all taken away from you.
One great thing about Lebanese people is we're very adaptable.
Right.
You can put a Lebanese person anywhere, they'll make the best out of their situation. And even now, right, the country's still functioning, but there's like 4 hours on average of electricity a day. Sometimes it's hard to access water. You know, like basic things like that, but you still find a way, and you don't complain, and you stay resilient. But sometimes if you want things to change in the long term, resilience is not enough.
Well, sometimes it would be nice for resilience not just to be a baseline requirement every day. Like, hey, how about this just works out? How about we get taken care of by our leadership? Has the leadership changed since then?
Some left, some are still around. It's the same thing. All the people that are not happy with the status quo are trying to leave or have either left the country, unfortunately. It's a sad reality. I think maybe 2/3 of my friends in Lebanon are not in Lebanon anymore. They always come back because they love their country so much, but it reached a point where it's almost unbearable to live sometimes here, you know?
Rob?
Tony?
Big pleasure. Thank you.
Super nice to meet you, man.
If you love Indian food, then you're gonna love our new channel, Best Ever Food India. Subscribe now for weekly videos showcasing the most unique street food from around the country.
Sir? A nice sloppy, slightly oily handshake. It's nice though, and my hands feel much softer already. Now it just so happens we have a professional meat handler standing next to you. Sir, how you doing?
This is ZAMAM.
That was a trick handshake. You got gloves on. You cannot shake hands with anybody. Sorry, fist bump. Equally contaminations. Equally bad. I said contaminations. Is that a word? How long did it take you to get this good?
He learned it in 10 days.
Wow, that seems pretty attainable, actually. Can you make up a story where it seems much more difficult? Now I feel like I could do that. I thought he was going to say he has to go to a special school or he gets whipped if he does it incorrectly. I can see why you love it. The tahini is something I need to get used to more. I need to learn to respect it like an in-law that you start off on the wrong foot with. Like that. It's like I went to the tahini's house. I said, can I take a shower? But then the tahini walked in on me and saw me naked on accident. And it's been awkward ever since.
He wants to visit your work.
Oh my word, I live in Vietnam.
بعيش بالفيتنام.
Come to Vietnam.
He loves Vietnam.
They have bread. Boom, that is the end of video number 1 here in Lebanon. I want to say a huge thank you to Layal for joining me in Tripoli. That was fun. And then I went to Beirut and I met this guy and that was fun as well. I almost said even more fun. Oh my God, I meant equally fun. Jesus. You can find Rob right here on his social media. Right now he's biking across Africa. How do I know he's doing that right now? Because he's going to be doing it for years at a time. It's never going to end, right?
Let's see.
But how is he possibly in Lebanon if he's biking across Africa? I don't know. Otherwise, thank you.
Thank you for coming and visiting.
Thank you for watching, guys. I will see you next time. That's it for this one. Peace. Okay, let's go this way. I heard that you guys like wine here. You guys got a lot of wine, right?
Yeah.
Let's get some wine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Do you have halal wine, though? I only drink halal wine.
Yeah.